A long, long time ago, before there were any people on earth, God made the heavens, the earth, and everything in it. He made the sun to shine during the day, the moon to light up the night, and he filled the earth with animals, trees, flowers, and sparkling rivers. But God wanted someone special to enjoy all this beauty, so he created a man named Adam. God made Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed life into him. Adam lived in a wonderful garden called Eden, where there were all kinds of delicious fruits to eat, beautiful flowers to admire, and friendly animals to befriend. But something was missing. Adam was lonely. So, God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, took one of his ribs, and made a woman named Eve to be his friend and helper. Adam and Eve loved their beautiful garden. They could eat from any tree except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told them that if they ate from that tree, they would know what was good and bad, but it would lead to sadness and death. One day, a crafty serpent, who was actually Satan in disguise, slithered up to Eve. He whispered, "Did God really say you can't eat from any tree?" Eve told the serpent that they could eat from any tree except the one in the middle of the garden. The serpent, with his sly smile, said, "You won't die. Eating that fruit will make you as wise as God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the tree. The fruit was shiny and delicious looking. She thought, why not? So, she picked the fruit and took a bite. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. But as soon as they ate the fruit, something strange happened. They felt embarrassed and realized they were naked, so they quickly sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. Later that day, God came to walk with them in the garden, but Adam and Eve were hiding. God called out, "Where are you?" Trembling, Adam replied, "We heard you and were afraid because we were naked." God knew they had eaten the forbidden fruit and asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. But they had both made a choice. Sadly, because they disobeyed God, Adam and Eve had to leave the Garden of Eden. Life outside the garden was hard. They had to work for their food, and they faced pain and struggles. But even though Adam and Eve made a big mistake, God never stopped loving them. He promised to send a savior one day who would fix everything that had gone wrong. And that's how Adam and Eve, the first people on earth, learned a big lesson about listening to God and how love and forgiveness are always part of his plan. Using the story of Adam and Eve, here are key lessons you to take note as believers and children of God. Number 1, obedience to God. God's instructions are given for our good, and disobedience has consequences. Just as Adam and Eve faced hardship after disobeying God, we too can face challenges when we stray from his guidance. Number 2, responsibility. Adam and Eve both made choices, and their actions had consequences. It's important to take responsibility for our actions rather than blaming others. Number 3, temptation and discernment. The story illustrates how temptation can lead us astray. It's vital to recognize when something seems wrong and choose the right path. Number 4, God's love and forgiveness. Despite their disobedience, God continued to love Adam and Eve and promised a savior. This highlights God's unending love and the importance of forgiveness, even when mistakes are made. And finally, importance of relationships. God created Eve so Adam wouldn't be lonely, emphasizing the value of companionship and helping one another.